You ever do something and then, like, a second later, you're just like, why in the world did I just do that? Yeah, of course you have. We all have. So today, we're going to dive into a really practical tool for getting to the bottom of why we do the things we do. See, it really all starts with one question, a question that every single one of us has asked, probably more times than we can even count. You know the one. Why did I snap at my partner when they were just trying to help? Why do I keep procrastinating on that project I know is important? Why do I scroll through my phone for an hour instead of just going to sleep? This one little question, well, it opens up a whole can of worms about what makes us tick. And trying to find the answer, man, it can be totally overwhelming. The world throws this dizzying number of explanations at us, from our genes and our hormones to our star sign and the latest pop psychology fad. It's no wonder we end up just feeling confused about what's really driving us. But what if there's a more fundamental way to understand ourselves? A different way of looking at it that just cuts right through all that noise? So here's the big idea. Our actions aren't just random. They're not just impulses. They are an overflow of our deepest commitments. What we do is a direct reflection of what our heart, the very core of who we are, truly values, and in a sense worships. The source material we're looking at has a name for this, a functional God. Now, this isn't necessarily a religious concept. It's simply whatever your life actually revolves around. It's the thing you look to for your real sense of security, your meaning, your happiness. It's what you serve in practice, no matter what you say you believe. And this is where it gets really interesting, right? There's often this gap between what we say we value and what our actions show we actually value. We might say, oh, my family is everything to me, but our actions reveal we're really chasing career success. Or we say we value our health, but our behavior shows we're just serving our desire for immediate comfort. Can you kind of see that gap in your own life? So, how do we figure this stuff out? How do we uncover these hidden drivers and find out what's really in the driver's seat of our lives? Well, luckily, there's a practical tool for doing exactly that. David Polison, who developed these X-ray questions, put it like this. The whole point is to help us gently pull back the curtain and identify the things that have taken over positions of authority in our hearts, the things that have truly become our masters. And it's so important to see this as an act of compassionate self-discovery, not self-judgment. These questions aren't here to make you feel guilty. They're designed to bring clarity and understanding by helping you look just beneath the surface. Okay, so let's get into a few of the most powerful questions from the source. Think of them like a mirror for your heart. The first one sounds so simple, but wow, it's deep. What do you love and what do you hate? The idea here is that there's really no deeper explanation for why you do what you do. When our loves get out of order, like when we love comfort more than we love integrity, those loves totally hijack our hearts and start dictating our behavior. Okay, next up, ask yourself this. Where do you bank your hopes? What is that future thing you're counting on to finally make you feel happy or secure? People will do almost anything to get what they're hoping for. So this question reveals the future that you're actually living for right now. And then there's the flip side. What do you fear most? Our deepest fears are almost always the inverse of our greatest desires. So if I'm absolutely terrified of ruining my reputation, what does that reveal? It reveals just how much I'm ruled by what other people think of me. And finally, when the pressure's on, where do you find refuge, safety, comfort, or escape? When you're stressed, when you're anxious, what's your go-to? Is it Netflix, food, work, scrolling social media? This question uncovers the false comforts we all run to when life gets hard. Now, to really help this all click, the source gives us this simple but just brilliant metaphor to help us see the difference between what we do and why we do it. So just picture a powerboat speeding across a lake. The wake it leaves behind, the turns it makes, the final destination, that's your behavior. It's everything that's visible on the surface, what everyone can see. But what's actually directing that boat? It's the pilot, right? The person at the wheel. Their thoughts, their plans, their intentions. That is your motive. It's the invisible force that's steering all the visible action. So here's the bottom line. If you really want to understand why the boat went where it did, or why you did what you did, you can't just look at the wake in the water. You have to understand the pilot. You got to look at the motive. And that really brings us to the big so what of all this. What does this mean for you in your life? The real power of these X-ray questions is they help you understand your own inner pilot. Once you realize you're snapping at your partner not just because you're in a bad mood, but because your functional God is a perfectly controlled and quiet house, then you can finally start to address the real issue. Knowing what truly motivates you, your deep loves, your fears, your hopes, that is the absolute first step toward any kind of meaningful, lasting personal growth.
So, I'll leave you with one last powerful metaphor from the source to chew on. Your life is like a planet in orbit. The only question is, what sun does your planet revolve around?